All right, so Jasmine, you're single,
Yes.
but you shoot with a guy, correct? Because you make content.
Yes, that's true.
Okay. But
That's
you're
true.
not in a
I
thing
guess
with him.
since you said friends with benefits, I guess it would be a friends with benefits situation.
Okay.
Depending on how you're going to define that.
And so, just going back to your career, so you are a licensed attorney. However,
Yes.
you don't practice because you do OnlyFans.
Yeah, so I quit my job at my firm last April, I want to say, so I could focus on my OnlyFans career. And I'm very happy with that decision.
What's the kind of money, comparatively speaking, that you're making compared to being an attorney?
So attorneys like 6 figures a year, OnlyFans is 6 figures a month, so quite a difference.
You make 6 figures a month?
Yes.
Mid 6 figures, low 6?
Like most low, usually.
Okay. Oh, okay. Now, why? Because, I mean, being an attorney, I think it's a fairly well-esteemed career. Why did you're self-described 304 lawyer.
304.
And you also said I was just too sexy to be a lawyer
True.
in
I
your
mean, I
bio.
have huge natural G cups. So what am I supposed to do? Much more profitable. I'm jealous.
Okay. So you were recently on Fresh and Fit,
I was.
and you got into quite a back and forth with Myron.
I did.
What was the big argument that you guys got into about?
I think we argued about everything. Like, I was talking the whole time. That was one of the issues other people had. So we got into quite a bit. His views are a lot more radical than yours. So I kind of disagree with him on pretty much everything. So
Well, yeah, I think you guys touched on body count quite
we
a
did.
bit. And then also just you felt that
I shouted you guys out. I said you guys are more professional. Did you catch that?
I don't like to talk poorly, but I guess thank you for the shout out.
Yeah.
Although you were kind of throwing them under the bus in so doing.
But they deserve it.
Oh God. Okay, don't get me into trouble here. All right. So the big thing though that I saw that you got into an argument about was, there's a debate between you two that because of that you do OnlyFans, that's going to have a negative impact on your future relationship prospects.
Yes. So I don't think it will.
Disagree, agree,
I
partially?
don't think I don't think it'll impact my future dating prospects. That may not be the case for everybody. The kind of guys I like to date, whether now or before I started an OnlyFans, wouldn't be the kind of guys who have an issue with it. The one area that may be impacted is I want to keep doing BG content. So the kind of guy wouldn't have an issue with me doing OnlyFans, but it is fair maybe if he doesn't want to be on my OnlyFans. So that's something I might have to navigate, but the OnlyFans on its own won't be.
Well, what's the type of guy that you want to date?
Somebody who shares my values and doesn't value things like sexual purity or correlate modesty, whether it's digital or in person, with morality. Somebody who, liberal, shares my values. And that's pretty common, especially in academia. I mean, academia leans left. You don't find people, even conservatives, they may have personal moral qualms with it, but they're not at least in lawyer world, they're not 304. They're
Sure.
not, they don't engage like your audience does.
So you want to date a more liberal guy?
Yeah, always.
And do you consider yourself to be liberal?
Yeah, libertarian left, probably center left, depends on the issue.
Okay. Well, let's actually go around the table because I think politics is very intimately tied to some degree to dating.
Exactly.
Because obviously you want to be with someone who shares your values. What's everyone's political leanings, whether you're left, right, moderate, apolitical?
I think I'm apolitical. So is that where you're just not political?
Pretty much.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
apolitical.
Fairly progressive left, yeah.
Fairly progressive, okay.
Well, I introduced myself as, working with TPUSA and Blaze TV, which if you're familiar with them, I don't think it'd surprise anyone to know that I am right wing.
Okay.
I would say I'm pretty moderate, a little more right-leaning,
Okay.
just because I grew up with my family just naturally being pretty traditional.
Sure.
So, ties.
Okay. So we can definitely dive into some of the more politics-related issues later on in the show. But so I think one of the things that you were talking about is you won't have an issue getting a guy who's a lawyer. Is that your type, a lawyer?
Not really. I dated a guy in law school, but besides that, they're not. They can be. I like guys that are smart. I like guys that I feel like are on the same level as me intellectually, mentally, and those things. But like, for instance, before I even started doing this, so before like 2 years ago, I didn't have an Instagram or anything. Like I had no digital footprint. And there was one guy that I like went on one date with, and he made a comment like, oh, it's really nice you don't have an Instagram because girls that look like you are usually showing off their bodies on Instagram. I ghosted him after that. Like I'm just not into that kind of thinking at all. So
what
when
did he say?
He said, oh, it's nice you don't have an Instagram because usually girls are showing off their bodies on Instagram. So I didn't have an Instagram, and a lot of guys thought that was cool, but I care why you thought that was cool. Do you think it's cool because I'm just more present, that I want to live life, that I don't really spend my time on social media? That's cool. But if you like that I don't have an Instagram because I'm not showing my body off, even when I wasn't, I had no interest in men like that, then or now.
So a guy wanting a girl who has limited or no social media presence or isn't posting revealing photos, that to you is a
Deal breaker.
a deal breaker.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And that was then and now.
So why do you think men might care about that sort of thing?
There's a multitude of reasons, all of which are deal breakers. So he could just have more religious or conservative social values, which I don't, and that's never going to work. He could be insecure. He could be territorial. So there's not a single reason I could think of that I would not consider it to be a deal breaker.
Okay.
So that's just for me. Now, maybe different for other people.
So you're a perfect guy, right?
My
But
perfect guy.
on this one thing he doesn't want.
He wouldn't be my perfect guy. Like that's literally
Sure.
the foundation of what you're looking for first is people who share your values. So he couldn't even begin to be my perfect guy if...
Sure. Well, let's go around the table on that. So would you have an issue dating a guy? Would it be a deal breaker as it is for her for a guy to not want you to be posting revealing photos on social media?
I mean, it's kind of tricky for me now. I've recently gotten into modeling again, and I usually do swimwear, and so my body is posted a lot. So if he has a problem, I don't think it would be as strong of a deal breaker, but it would probably be a topic of conversation quite frequently between us because
Sure.
that's part of it.
Okay.
That's not something I typically post. That's just not what my Instagram looks like. So it's never something that's been an issue.
And your Instagram is... Oh, hold on.
Bender the Offender donated $99.
Hey, thank you, Bender.
One of the topics that she debated Myron on is the corn industry is ethical.
I can do that again.
Maybe we'll touch on it later, but hey, Bender, good to see you in the chat, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. Your Instagram's private, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. All right.
It's not that exciting. I used to race mountain bikes, so it's mostly pictures of that.
Aviation photos?
Yeah, lots of airplanes too.
Okay. Lauren, your thoughts?
It wouldn't be a deal breaker if my husband said, don't post provocative photos of yourself. I don't do that. And I think that's, tacitly our understanding that I wouldn't do that. My husband is, I would say, even more socially conservative than I am. And I think it's true what you said about values. So for he and I, that's something we share. So it's not an issue.
I don't really think it's a deal breaker either. I mean, you model, so I guess for every other model, that's like a whole different story. But I think it's perfectly reasonable for someone to want that.
So what you're saying is neither of you two could date Jonah Hill.
No.
I don't think Jonah Hill would want to date me.
I don't think I'm his type and the feeling's mutual.
Yeah, no.
I believe our remaining guest has arrived. Nick, if you want to go ahead and grab him. We have one last person joining us. If you're just tuning in, hurricane, so it's...
And earthquake. Did
yeah,
you
there's
guys
also
feel
an earthquake,
yeah.
guys. Oh, that's right. We should have pulled it up. Here. Oh, shoot. That's what I forgot to do. Well, when Nick is back, we can pull up. But basically, the path of the hurricane just barely missed Santa Barbara. So we're so far doing okay. But okay. Major deal breaker.
Yes.
But you used to not post revealing photos, and the guy liked that.
Yeah, that was a deal breaker.
So he liked what you were doing.
He liked, so yeah, a few years ago, I was just a lawyer.
Oh, hold on just a sec.
Nazu donated $99. Men don't want women who show themselves off online. It shows you have no self-respect or that you feel like you have no other value than your body.
No, it shows that you don't have respect for me or that you think I don't have any other value than my body. That's not how I feel.
We don't want women who show, it shows you have no self-respect or that feel like you have no other value than your body.
I have tons of value. To myself. He may not think so, but who cares what he thinks?
His name is, what was his name? Whatever.
User 227 something.
Yeah. By the way, guys, my voice is all fucked up because I was sick. So, yeah, it's.
I have a question for
Yeah.
Jasmine.
Yeah.
What made you kind of like transform from your attorney job to just doing OnlyFans?
So I guess I got to go back to like the reason I was an attorney. I grew up in a Iranian immigrant household, so they have like really stringent academic expectations on us. It's like the traditional doctor, lawyer, engineer path.
Absolutely.
My mom's a lawyer, my sister's like everyone in my family's a lawyer. So I kind of was, it's not like I was doing it because I was like I've always wanted to be a lawyer. It's what I've wanted to do since I was a little girl.
Kind of, like,
I'm just
forced into it.
like
Yeah.
book smart, and so I knew it wouldn't be like too difficult to become one. So when it was getting closer to graduation, I was like, everyone else was really excited to graduate, and I was like, this isn't what I want to do. But I thought I didn't have a choice. So it was actually when I was studying for the bar that I just started the OnlyFans, not knowing that it would turn into what it is. And then when I saw that it could definitely be a career for me, it was like a no-brainer. So more time, money, happiness, freedom.
How did you like discover it? Because you said you like didn't really have any socials, like you never really posted things.
Yeah, so I heard of it in 2020 when the pandemic was happening, and so I heard of it, but it was just not something I thought I could do because I didn't have any social media. I actually had a friend in law school who had one too, and she started it first. I was like, okay, if she can do it, maybe I can do it. So that's kind of how it started.
What was your first impression of hearing it? Because
I thought it was cool. Like I was like, cool, a way for people to make money.
Okay.
Yeah, especially women. Sure.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So, your whole family's lawyers.
My dad's an engineer, but like my
okay.
sister and my mom are lawyers, and like a bunch of my
Sister,
cousins.
Mom.
And my sister,
You have
before
any
anyone asks, she's a
brothers?
lawyer. She's a normal lawyer, not an OnlyFans lawyer. She actually still doesn't have, because people ask that. No, my sister's a goody two shoes.
Do you have any brothers?
No brothers.
Just
one sister.
One sister.
Yes.
Okay. What was your parents' reaction to you starting OnlyFans?
They were fucking pissed. They were really mad. I told them myself, and they didn't talk to me for a few months. They knew before I got my firm position, and when I got that, they kind of texted me like, okay, it's really good you got this job now. You can quit the bullshit, whatever. And I was like, no. So there was like actually a moment where I had like an ultimatum. So I'm really close to my dad, and when he found out, now I know they had like some family meeting because my dad is never this like well-spoken, and so he called me and he was just like super calm. He's like, and I was super both emotionally dependent on my parents and at the time financially. So they supported me through law school. I did get a full ride to my school, so they supported me with all the other finances and stuff. And my dad had actually recently bought a house and for me to like live in and stuff. And he calls me and he's like, you know what, this is a terrible thing you're doing. You don't have to do this. This is only for girls who are from those kind of families, like all of those traditional stereotypes you get with like the adult content industry. And he's like, okay, if you stop now, it's fine. Like if you stop now, it's fine. You can keep the money, or I think you should donate it to charity, but just stop now, go down the right path. And that was the first time in my life that I was just like, I remember being on the phone, I was just like, no. And they were like so confused because that's not something that I ever normally did. And that's just so, our people in our culture aren't raised like that, and we don't normally do that. So they were pissed. They didn't talk to me for a few months, but now they got over it. So my dad actually set up my ring light in my place.
When did you reveal, how long ago did you reveal to your parents?
Oh, like within a few months of me starting it, because we were so close that I wasn't going to be good at keeping the secret. I was still using like my dad's credit card for everything, and now I have my own money, and it was just it was gonna come out anyway.
Okay. Are you all back on good terms?
Yes. So it's kind of, now we have kind of like a don't ask, don't tell policy, at least with my dad. With my, it's like they know, but they're just like, okay, don't talk to me about it. And then with my mom, I'm always like trying to debate her and get it. So she actually is afraid to talk about it with me because she knows I'm just going to be ready to go. Okay, you have a problem with sex work? Let's hear it, kind of thing. So she kind of just does a no, don't ask, don't tell kind of thing too.
Okay.